Hello Year Ones, welcome to Lesson 11. I'm Claire and today we're going to be talking more about numbers and counting. We're going to do some subtraction and addition with simple numbers, and we're going to need something to write with and something to write on. You may use post-it notes like we've been doing for a while, or you might use a scrapbook like I've done for a while. Have you been recording things in your scrapbook? Great. All right. So our learning intention today is really understanding those numbers to 100. And we're going to keep locating them. We're going to talk about how they can be added together and how they can be subtracted from one another. If you didn't look at our previous lessons, you might like to look at them now. We've been doing lots and lots of things about numbers 1 to 100, and we've been learning about different ways to count. We've counted in 2s, and we've counted in 5s, and we've counted in 10s. We learned about efficient counting, and we learned about subitizing. Do you remember that strange word, subitizing? Subitizing is when you just know how many. It's like when you have a dice and you look at it, you don't have to count all the dots. You just know it. Subitizing is an important part of mathematics. We've made Y charts and learned about different representations of number. We've represented number as its numeral, we've represented it in writing, and we've also represented it as dots. We've learned lots of new mathematical words, and I've been recording them in the back of my book. I don't know whether you have done the same or whether you just know these words. It's always a good idea when you hear a new word to write it down. I've got a growing list at the back of my book. What have you done since the last lesson? Maybe you made your own number lines. Do you remember we talked about number lines can start from any number, but the numbers must be placed on the number line in sequence. What number did you start from? Excellent. Do you remember yesterday? What number did I start from? Yes, 90. We went 90 to 100. Well done. So what else have you been practicing since the last lesson? Have you counted lots? Do you remember I told you the story of Ella and her chips? She counted all her chips. Maybe you played the number line game to see if somebody could locate the number between 0 and 10. Or maybe you made a 10 frame. Did you make a 10 frame? Do you remember my apple 10 frame that we made yesterday? There are 10 apples in this frame. Can you see them? Very good. Now remember how we played that game. What can you see and what can I see? Let's see what you can see. What do you see? Do you see 7? Excellent. Now, what do I see? What strategy could you use for this? If you know there's 7 there and you want to get to 10 because you knew there was 10 before, you could go 8, 9, 10. I should see 3. And you're right, I can see 3. Well done. Let's talk about strategies. We've used lots of strategies to look at numbers and counting. We've used the 100 chart, and we've used that quite a lot to locate numbers. Let's see if we can locate the number 33. 33, where would it be? Well, we know these are all the ones, and these are all the teen numbers, and then these are all the 20s, and these are the 30s. 31, 32, 33. The strategy we used was to go up in the 10 groups until we got to the 30s, and then we counted in 1, 2, 3 to 33. That's one strategy you can use. Okay, another strategy we used was number lines. Do you remember we were able to draw a number line from anywhere to any place and then place the numbers in sequence to figure out which number it was? This one goes from 0 to 20, and by working out halfway, we knew where 10 was, and then our strategy was to find out what this number was by filling in the numbers between 10 and 0. One of our other strategies we used yesterday was the 10 frame. Some of you made your own 10 frames, and this one is very handy because it can show you the numbers to 10. So when I put some counters on there, I can know immediately how many counters I've got by subitizing. There are 3 there. And I also know how many more to make to 10. I can say, I know there are 3. To get to 10, I go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 7 more. I can see that there are 7 spaces there, so that strategy works really well when you're using 10 frames. All of these strategies help you to work out the answers to questions about numbers and counting. Do you remember those subitizing cards? You just knew how many. This one has how many dots? Excellent, that's 3. And sometimes you can use those strategies in your head. You don't need to see something, you can just picture 3 in your head and you can use that to work out the answer to a question. Let's try doing some things in our head right now. Can you tell me what is 1 more than 6? What's 1 more than 6? Did you say 7? Excellent, it is 7. What's 1 less than 6? 5, well done. Now some of you could have done that in your head and some of you may have used a strategy. You may have used the number chart, you may have found 6, you may have said what is 1 more? It's 7. You may have seen what is 1 less? It's 5. Some of you may have used a number line or a number track and found the number 6 and seen the one before and the one after. Some of you might even have used a 10 frame. You may have put 6 into your 10 frame. There's 6 there. What's 1 more than 6? I can see it's 7. What's 1 less than 6? I'll take away one of the 7, take away one of the 6, and there's 5. These are all strategies that you can use. Mathematicians use that word a lot. So, what strategy will you use to work out the next question? Can you tell me what is 1 more than 11? What is 1 more than 11? Can you just picture that in your head? Or did you use a strategy? Did you use your number chart? Did you use a 10 frame? Did you just think in your head? Did you picture 11 and think, oh, the next number is 12? Very good. What about if I asked you what's 1 less than 11? Can you picture 11 in your head and take 1 away? What answer did you get? Yes, 10. Well done. Very good. Here's a really tricky one. What is 1 more than 63? What is 1 more than 63? Oh, I know some of you may have used the number chart for that one because that is a bit tricky. 63 is over here in our 60 line. And what's 1 more? It's 64. What would 1 less be? It's 62. Excellent. All right. Now, I would like you to think of the strategies that you use when you're locating numbers on the number 100 chart, the 100 chart. Okay, so I'm going to ask you some questions and then I want you to think of the strategy you use. All right, so I'm going to say a number 17. Now, did you hear the teen? 17. Do you know which row that would be in? It's not in this row. These are the ones, aren't they? And it's not in any of these rows because they're the T's, T-Y. We remember that one, don't we? T-Y. So it's 17. So let's see, these are the teen numbers. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Is that a good strategy for finding things on the 100 chart? Very good. All right, now I'm going to think of another number and it has a 0 in it. Okay, now this number has a 0 in it. Can you go straight to the column I'm thinking of on the 100 chart? A number that has 0 in it. Let's look at our number chart. Can you see the numbers that have a 0 in them? Oh, they're all in one column. Can you see that? All of these are the 0 numbers. So I'm thinking of a number that has 0 in it and it is 40 more than 10. Whoa, that's tricky, isn't it? 40 more than 10. Well, here's 10. So 40 more than 10. Let's try it. 20, 30, 40, 50. There we go. 40 more than 10 is 50. Were you able to say that? Well done. Good job. Okay, let's look at strategy to accounting more or less using the 10 frames. So I've got my 10 frames out here. You may have made them in your book, but I'm going to use my two that I've got colored here. I've got the purple one and the blue one. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, what is 1 more than 10? So what do I have to do to make 1 more than 10? Here we go. I've got 10 here. And where am I going to put my 1 more? You're right, I have to use the second frame. So there we go. How can you tell how many that is? 10 and 1 more is 11. Good job. What about if I say 10 and 2 more? What's that? 10. There's always 10 on this 10 frame when you've got it filled in like this. 10 and 2 more is 12. How about something like this? I'm not going to say what I'm putting in here, but you're going to work it out. Okay. Oh, how many is that altogether? What strategy are you using? Yes, you know, 10 and 10 is 20. And we sometimes call that double 10, don't we? Okay, let me try something a little bit different. I'm going to take 4 from here and 4 from here. And I'm going to ask you, how many is there now? How many on my 10 frames now? Did you go, there's 6 and there's 6? Did you go, there's 3 and there's 3 and there's 3 and there's 3 more? Or perhaps you did what we did yesterday and you filled up one 10 frame so that you knew there was 10 and 2 more. And so you know that 6 and 6 is 12. Well done. That's really good. What about if I take 2 off there? Now how many have I got? Oh, well done. 8 and 2 is 10. That's one strategy you could use. You could have gone 4 and 4 is 8 and 2 is 10. You could have gone 2, 4, 6, 8 and 2 is 10. Either way, it was 10. You could have used that strategy we just spoke about and filled up the 10 frame to see how many there were. That is a good strategy for counting more and counting less. So after this lesson, I think you should draw a 10 frame in your scrapbook to show 5. And then see if you can draw 2 new 10 frames showing 5 and 2 more than 5. And then the other one with 5 and 2 less than 5. Another thing you can do is start with 10 counters in your 10 frame and throw a dice. I've got one here. Throw your dice and take that many counters off your 10 frame and record how many are left. How many are left there? Do you have the same number as me? Let's have a look. I'm writing my number down. You're correct. It's 7. So those are things that you can do at home. I will talk to you next time. Bye.